All right, so get that chart checked with yours for squares and square roots. Big thing coming out of this is we have these numbers called perfect squares. Perfect squares are going to be all of these numbers that a whole number squared is equal to. So 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, etc. All right, last thing we're going to look at is an extension of our roots and radicals. So we looked at the square roots and the squareds, but do know that there are all kinds of roots. We call them the general term fourth root, third root, or nth root. And so just a little bit of terminology. That little 4 is called the index. And that index tells you that this is we would read this as fourth. Let me just write it like this. Fourth root. If you don't see an index, so something like this, that is implied the square root. And it's an understood 2. We don't write the index of 2 on the square root because they are so common that we have just kind of dropped that off over time. Anything past the square root, though, the third root, the fourth root, the fifth root, the sixth root, you will all see those indexes written. And then we have the radical symbol. Which is going to be that thing. And then side the radical, you have the radicand. And that is this whole thing under the house. So just a little terminology, not something that you necessarily have to have memorized, specifically the radicand part, but you do need to understand the different roots. We'll kind of apply that later on in the algebra, and then you'll also see that in your math classes. So then on this page, there's another breakdown of how the cubed roots and cubes are related, and fourth roots and fourths. They are inverses, just like the square root and the squared. So let's open your book again. Number 4, so I'm on page 72. Number 4 says, which of the following is equivalent to 64? And they've got A, 2 to the third, B, 2 to the fourth, C, 4 to the third, D, 4 to the fourth, and E, 4 to the fifth. And so what you're doing, just typing those into your calculator or doing like writing out the definition. And so the correct answer there, the equivalent to 64 is going to be C, which said 4 to the third. And 4 times 4 times 4 does equal 64. All right, number 5. Number 5 says, which of the following is equivalent to the square root of 100? You have a square root button on your on-screen calculator. It's going to be kind of I think it's on the right-hand side. So here's our on-screen calculator. Here is the square root button. So I think in this you have to type in 100 and then the square root button. And you get out 10. And 10 is also letter C, because 10 squared equals 100. So the square root of 100 would be 10. All right, guys, so that is what I've got for you today. We'll pick up with order of operations on the next class.